This is the public face of Cara Toynton.
That was a stunning routine.
You know what? You're always sticking your nose in and you ain't got a clue.
Privately, she's amongst the 1 in 10 Brits born with dyslexia, which means she struggles to read.
A company, or severely wounded, or severely wounded.
Now, Cara wants to confront what dyslexia is and why it's been holding her back.
People of your age and intelligence are normally much quicker and more accurate when they're reading.
For the first time as an adult, she'll have a condition assessed and undergo training in an attempt to help her cope with her dyslexia.
This is really thick for me, but I can't think right now.
You really try, and yet it just doesn't seem to go in.
She wants to meet other young dyslexics to find out how their lives have been affected.
Pedestrian. Like I'm half thick or what? What's up with me?
It felt like just a wall of words, numbers and people, and it was just trapped.
We really need to wake up and think about how we teach kids, and so that these kids aren't getting lost out there.
Can she gain control over her dyslexia?
I thought it was just Kay.
You're not whispering in the background.
Dad, I need to learn that book.
And transform the way she lives.
It's like giving up an addiction, isn't it? Can I suddenly U-turn and decide to do something completely different? I don't know. I just felt stupid.
Cara Toynton's life as an actress revolves around scripts and stories. But behind the scenes, Cara has dyslexia, a neurological condition that makes reading difficult.
I would love to be able to pick this up and just read it. To Caroline's I hate this when they start using her assertion of her brothers being partial to Mr. Darcy, she said no, she paid no credit. And much as she had always been this is so awful, always been deposed to like him, to the caprice of their insulinations.
Dyslexia makes it hard for the brain to recognise a written word and pronounce the way it sounds as a whole.
It's almost as if each word is a process. It's as if it's broken down to its simplest format, and I'm seeing interference.
And the way some dyslexic brains see the page can make reading even harder.
Certain parts of the page are brighter, and there's these little light marks throughout the writing. It was as if there's gaps and there's little nooks and crannies in it. So it's become so slow, and so for me to read something fluently is just impossible.
Since leaving school, Cara's never read a book cover to cover. It's having more and more of an impact on her everyday life.
Certain stories that have been written that are really important, you know, those classics and that everyone knows about, and it would be a shame not to have enjoyed them as well, because they are fantastic. As an actress especially, I should be reading lots of plays and lots of stories, and that's where I feel almost a letdown to myself in the career I've chosen, that I don't do that.
She now wants to confront her condition and conquer her reading.
Dyslexia is almost holding me back, and I'm ready to find out why and to stop that.
Cara's younger sister Hannah is an actress too. She's a daily reminder of how dyslexia makes Cara different.
Everything we've ever done, we've always done together, haven't we? Just because we've got the same interests and we've got the same love in the career that we've chosen to go in.
And you're very messy.
All right, Anne.
Cara's really messy, and I'm quite tidy.
And I come in
That's
here and
another.
Hannah's every day, she's just in a book.
The thing that's sad is that I know that you want to be able to do it, and it's not like you just don't want to try at all. You actually would love to.
In fact, one year we both bought the same book, the Harry Potter book. It was the 4th one, I think, and we were on holiday, and I saw the speed of Hannah's reading. And by day 2, I was just getting Hannah to tell me what was happening. She had her own world of Harry Potter, and it's so special when you create that in your own mind when you're reading. It's so powerful, and she'd created this world, and I just couldn't get past the first few pages.
I'd love to, for a day, just know what it's like for you to read something.
I think if I could swap my head for Hannah's head for the day, I think I would just make the most of reading, really. All the Harry Potters.
Cara's decided she's let dyslexia rule her life long enough.
I am definitely fed up with putting things on hold and having this vision that one day I'm going to be something different to who I am now. I just want to be the person who I'm going to be.
6 million Brits are dyslexic. Cara wants to know what makes their brains different to everyone else's.
Hello, Kathy.
Very nice to meet
lovely
you.
to meet you.
Professor Kathy Price is going to scan Cara's brain for research into how dyslexia disrupts the reading process.
The purpose of the study is to work out how dyslexic brains differ from people who haven't had any difficulty learning to read. And we're trying to group people into different subtypes of dyslexia.
Let's go. I'm ready.
By comparing Cara's brain to hundreds of other people's, Kathy will be able to tell Cara how her brain works differently to non-dyslexics when she's reading.
Cara?
Yeah.
Okay, so we're ready to go, and you're just telling us what you see.
Okay.
Cara reads out words and identifies images that appear on a screen inside the scanner. Kathy records which areas of Cara's brain are now active to see if her brain connects up in the same way as non-dyslexics. She also measures the strength of Cara's brain signals to see how much effort she's putting in to read. Dyslexia has only been widely recognised in the last 15 years, so scientists like Kathy are still trying to work out what causes it. What they do know is that it can run in families. But Cara's the only dyslexic in her family, and Sister Hannah knows it's tough on her.
She's not necessarily made it the biggest issue of her life, but I do see it and she does get down about it. So, yeah, maybe this is a thing of finding out who really she is.
It's like being on a sunbed.
And look at this one. Here's your nose, there's your eyes, your brain here. Coming through your face, basically.
Yeah.
We're just looking straight the way through your face.
Oh,
There. And then down to your teeth. Look at those lovely little teeth.
Oh. It's hard for me to think, how does Kathy work out that I'm dyslexic from?
The intensity of the signal might be slightly different. You know, there might be, say, darker on one side and lighter on another side.
Kathy will now analyse Cara's brain patterns and compare them to others.
So when you come back next time, we might be able to tell you which bits of your brain here might sort of show features that we associate with dyslexia.
Cara must now wait 3 weeks for Kathy's team to analyse the scans. The first signs of dyslexia often appear when children start learning to read and write at school.
My old school books.
Cara started to notice she was behind the other children when she was around 6, but didn't understand why.
I just remember thinking, oh, goodness, it's just so hard, and do they really expect us to do this? And everyone else seems to be finding it really simple. This is what I did a lot, the kind of writing the word how it sounds. So friendly would be F-R-E-N-L-Y. Why would you design a word that doesn't spell the way it sounds? That's like just putting a Z in where, just for the sake of it, as far as I was concerned. And I remember even thinking, concentrate and read. And I'd even go like this with my eyes, as if the eyes being wider would kind of help it go in. And sometimes I'd go, and then I'd go, what are they asking me to do? No, it didn't go in. I did feel stupid, really. I think I just felt stupid.
Cara's teacher spotted she was struggling when she turned 7 and dropped a bombshell on her mum and dad.
He was flabbergasted. She was 26 books behind everybody else over a period of 5 weeks. And she had very low self-esteem, coming up to that time. And I think as a person naturally, she's fairly quiet and doesn't push herself forward naturally. Because I think there is that sort of lack of confidence sometimes.
I just hated going into school, and Dad always dropped me off at school, and I used to run after him nearly every morning until I was about 11.
Cara was sent for tests, which gave her parents a much-needed answer for why she was so behind.
The fact that Cara was then diagnosed as being dyslexic, that pressure came off almost immediately. I can well imagine that if she wasn't doing so well at school for reasons that we didn't understand, then we would have been probably a lot less patient with her. There could have been more arguments, and it would have been more stressful, and that would have had a profound effect on Cara's upbringing over the next few years.
Cara's future as an actress began at that moment.
We wanted her to do speech and drama purely because it was important for self-esteem.
This is my last night as being a blonde, Lola. Again, of watching Teletalk.
It quickly became evident that she was good at those things.
So where is Gina?
She could stand up in front of people and, in a small way, start her acting career, I suppose.
Everyone has something that they can do and they can excel at, I believe. But it's whether you've got the support behind you from your parents to go and find what that may be. And it's not always going to be found in the school environment.
Today, over 750,000 British school kids are thought to be dyslexic. But many go undiagnosed, and schools can find it hard to cope with the 4% of children that are severely dyslexic. 10 years after leaving school, Cara's going back to the classroom to meet some of these children. She's visiting one of Britain's 14 registered specialist schools for dyslexics. It's a last resort for many of the pupils here.
I'm really kind of excited about seeing a school that specialises in something that I've had throughout my life.
Shapwick is a private boarding school where lessons are tailored to the needs of each of its 170 boys and girls.
Hello.
Good morning, Cara.
Hello.
Come on in.
This is a lovely small class. It's very
no
easily.
snoozing in the back row, I'm afraid, because the back row is only the second row.
I know.
And we've set you up a desk here.
Okay.
If you'd like to sit down, and you can join in with our English lesson this morning.
Shall try my best. Don't show me up too much.
And anything you're not sure of, you can ask Will, because he's had lots of English lessons in this classroom.
So you're used to it.
So before we start that, who can tell me, what are these letters called? Patrick?
They're called vowels.
They're called vowels, that's right. If they were people, what sort of people would they be? Alex?
They're cowards.
They're sort of cowards, aren't they?
Dyslexia doesn't just affect reading. It can obstruct short-term memory too.